Well, hello everyone, this is Fadi and I want to welcome you to a brand new video series that probably myself and Dr. J will be doing it for a long time. And if you don't know anything about what we're talking about, this is the right show for you to get additional deep dive education on the different readings of the Quran. And if you're a Muslim watching this, slow down, listen to what we're going to say, watch the videos that we will start publishing, and we ask you to be the judge and tell us, do they sound to you as one Quran or two different Qurans? With that in mind, Dr. Shay, thank you so much for being here with us. Why did we call it two Qurans? And let's help our audience understand, what do we mean by Hafs and Warsh?
Well, I want you to notice, what color shirt do I have on?
Well, you have the one about the Quran.
This is the brown shirt. Whenever I'm wearing a brown shirt, you know I'm going to be talking about the Quran.
Right.
Color code always is very important.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about these two books right here. These are the two books that are the most popular Qur'ans. Completely different, well, not completely, but different Qur'ans that are used in the world today. The black one over here is the Warsh.
Right.
The green one on this side is the Hafs. This is about 95 to 97% of the world's population now follow this reading. What do I mean follow? Means they memorize the Quran with this reading. So you want to memorize the Quran with this reading, you better not use this one. Why? Because 3% memorizes this reading. Now you say, oh, Muslims will say, well, they're the exact same reading. No, they're not. There are 5,000 different words between these two books. 5,000 different words. If you have different words, that means you have different sentences. If you have different sentences, that means you have different meanings. If you have different meanings, that will impinge on doctrine, that will also impinge on belief, and that will also impinge on practice. Now, Muslims have always said there's no difference between any belief, there's no difference between any practice, there's no difference between any doctrine. You hear them say it all the time, and they're saying, prove it. If you say that they are different, then show it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to now start and unpack these. We're going to do a few at a time. Each video, we're going to take one verse. How many verses do we have to go to? We have 93,000 verses we're going to be looking at. We're going to be doing this till we're old, in our 90s and decrepit. However, we want to look at these 5,000 just between these two, because these are just two of 30 official Qurans, which have 93,000 differences between them. We don't have time to do that. But if the Muslims say that there's no difference in doctrine, no difference in practice, no difference in belief, then I want them to just talk about these two. Let's just talk about these two, since these are the most popular in the world today. This one, which is the Hafs, is used almost all over the world since 1924. It was canonized. Well, that was just for Cairo. By 1936, it was canonized for Egypt. By 1985, it was canonized for the whole world by King Fadi. So this has become the canonical text. However, in North Africa, if you're in North Africa, you got to use this one, because there's 5,000 differences. You want to memorize it in the area, the way that you have memorized since you were a little child. So this one is used all over North Africa, about 3% of the world's population, so therefore use this reading. And that's why we've chosen these two, because they are the two most popular in the world today. And by looking, we're going to probably look at 43 of them. We could look at all 5,000, but let's just look at 43 of them. And we're going to start unpacking them a little at a time, because we only have so much time in the studio together. Exactly. We can't do them all today. We will be doing them at other times. As long as I have a brown shirt, we'll be unpacking these.
Yeah. Thank you for that introduction. And this is why I was telling you people, it's going to take us a long time. Whether 5,000, 1,000, or all 93,000, it's still going to take a long time. Now, here is why we call it two Qurans. Because if I want to follow the Islamic basically narrative, this Quran that right here, the 1924 Hafs Quran, the most popular standardized Quran, is supposedly the preserved Quran that existed in heaven in a preserved tablets. But wait, we have another one called Warsh. Oh, a Muslim will say, no. They're both are one and the same. One and the same? Well, I speak Arabic, and I have to tell you, they sound different sometimes. And not only that, but there is some theological damage that comes out of these variants, these differences. We will unpack them one verse at a time and let you be the judge. If they sound the same, they read the same, or they mean the same. And you can decide for yourself if we're talking about one Quran preserved up in heaven or different Qurans, not to mention, of course, which one of them was revealed in the first place to the Prophet of Islam, and if they were all revealed, that's a whole different story, because we have different traditions about the surprise that the companions felt when they discovered that there were different ways to read the Quran. But this is not for this topic, and this is not for this video series.
Now, remember, where do we find out how the Quran was written? We go to Al-Bukhari. Sahih Bukhari, Volume 6, Book 61, Hadith number 509 and Hadith number 510. And when you look at those two traditions, that tells us everything we need to know. And that's what Muslims have to support, because where can you go up besides the Quran? Quran cannot, you have to go to, in order to find out, you have to go to Sahih Bukhari. He is the best in there. Right. And what does he tell us? Well, he tells us that the Quran was written in its final form by Uthman. Well, actually, it was Zayd ibn Thabit there in 652. And that he took all the other ones that disagreed, which means all the ones from Iraq and all the ones from Syria, the ones from Kufa, from Basra, and from Damascus, and he had them burnt. He destroyed them because they disagreed. Since they disagreed, they were corrupted, right? So therefore, I would suggest that one of these two must be that Quran that is from 652, that is from the time of Uthman, that is from Mecca, Medina, that is the Qurayshi Quran, because that's the dialect, right? The Qurayshi dialect. Do you know where this was written? This is the one that is the Hafs. Do you know the city it was written in? It was written by Hafs in 796 in Kufa.
Yeah.
Is Kufa in Iraq or is Kufa in Arabia?
I always ask this question, how come it wasn't the reading of Ibn Kathir from Mecca?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or Nafi from Mecca. Why didn't they use one of the three major 10 ones that actually, when you look at all of them, you can see that this one was written hundreds of miles away and hundreds of years later, 144 years to be exact. Where is this one from? Warsh. Do you know where this is from? This is actually from
Egypt.
Cairo.
Yep.
And it's the only one from Cairo. It was chosen because it is the only one from Cairo.
Well, how come the 1924 Cairo edition did not rely on Warsh from Cairo?
Bingo. Why did they not go to this one? Why did Ibn Saud family there in 1985 use one of those readings that is from Mecca or Medina? And why in the world did they go to this one? The reason why is because this is the one that was chosen by the Ottomans after 1299.
Becoming more and more popular.
It was the most popular one from the 13th, 14th, and 15th, and that's why it was chosen by Muhammad Ibn al-Husayni al-Haddad in 1924 at Al-Azhar University, and that's why it is now the standard, becoming the standard today. But it is not the Qurayshi dialect. It should have been one of those that was burned. Therefore, it stands for the reason that we shouldn't even be looking at it. Now, stop and think yourself. Both of these Qurans are Arabic, right?
Yes.
These are not translations.
That's right.
Are they dialogical?
Well,
Are they different dialogues?
there are some words in there that are different.
Wait a minute, what is a dialogue? A dialogue is a completely way of saying it from a different geographical location.
That's
You say potato, we say potato. Potato is not a dialogue, is not a, not dialogue, dialect. I meant dialect. That is not a different dialect. That is a pronunciation of one word. Mm-hmm. A dialect is a complete different words that are used in completely different places at different times from different people. So in Britain, they say bonnet for that thing that comes up in the front of a car. What do we say here in the United States? It's the hood of a car.
Yes.
So hood versus bonnet, those are two completely different words. Well, not same meaning, but two completely different words. English in America and English in England are two different dialects. Am I correct?
Right.
That's what we're going to look at. We're looking at completely different ways of saying it, but the way that we're saying it has everything to do with 5 dots and 2 vowels. Am I correct?
That's right. But the thing is here, even if a Muslim say, oh, you just said it's just different way of pronouncing it, if that's the case, then how come they have different meanings? The way it's pronounced.
See, if it's just potato, we would agree with them. If it's just tomato, we would agree with them. If it's just bonnet, hood, we would agree with them. What we're going to find out, it's completely different words with completely different meanings.
Right. And for that, start watching these videos, because we will do our best to keep it one verse at a time for ease of research and to help everyone find the right verse that they are trying to share with a Muslim, discuss with a Muslim, and even for a Muslim friend to come and find those variants one verse at a time. Thank you, Dr. J, and I'm looking forward, of course, to this series. Thank you, everyone. God bless.